Okay, let's do this. Today is a special episode. How do you memorize jokes? This is a question that got submitted in our Kwik Brain Facebook group. Many of you have joined it. If you haven't already, we have tens of thousands of members. That's where you can see lives, and we do daily inspiration, as well as where you could submit questions for future episodes. Today, we're going to talk about remembering jokes. We've all had this experience where you've said to yourself, I heard a great joke today, but I can't remember what it was. So let's get into this. Has anyone ever asked you if you knew any jokes and you go blank? How many times have you wanted to remember a joke, but you just can't? You try, you hear a great joke, and it goes in one ear, out the other. Now, why is it that we don't remember those funny laugh out loud jokes that we heard a month ago or a week ago, or even a great one that you heard yesterday? Maybe a friend told it to you at breakfast or over coffee. And it's weird because you remember song lyrics, movie scenes, stories, but for a lot of people, jokes seem to disappear. It's like you have this supercomputer of a brain, but it has a glitch. A lot of stand-up comedians that we've trained, they'll use what they learn in our online memory course to memorize their sets. You would need to go through that program to get the advanced training, but here I can give you a few simple tips. As we know, there's a difference between training, going through a 30-day or multiple week program with us and getting some tips that we have time for in this show. So let's get right into it. We did a call out to our community for their jokes, some of their favorite jokes, some that I read that were not that funny. The ones I'll use in this example are some brain memory jokes because we got a number of them submitted to us. Let's get started. Here's one that I remember from one of our listeners, and it goes something like this. A couple was having problems remembering things, so they decided to go to their doctor to get checked out and to make sure that nothing was wrong with them. When they arrived at their doctor's, they explained to the doctor that they're having problems with their memory. And after checking the couple out, the doctor tells them that they are physically okay, but they might want to start writing things down and make notes to help them to remember things better. The couple thanked the doctor and left. Now, later that night, while watching television, the man got up from his chair and his wife asks, "Where are you going?" He replies, "To the kitchen." She asks, "Will you get me a bowl of ice cream?" He replies, "Sure." She then asks him, "Don't you think you should write it down like the doctor recommended so you could remember it?" He says, "No, I could remember that." She then says, "Well, I also would like some strawberries on top. You had better write that down because I know you'll forget that." He says, "I can remember that. You want a bowl of ice cream with cherries." She replies, "Well, I also would like whipped cream on top. I know you're going to forget that, so you better write it down." Now, with irritation in his voice, he says, "I don't need to write that down. I can remember that." He then fumes into the kitchen. After about 20 minutes, he returns from the kitchen, hands her a plate of bacon and eggs. She stares at the plate for a moment and says, "You forgot my toast." Now, this joke is, whether you laugh out loud or you think it's kind of funny because it's not funny. So I'm going to give you 4 C's, my 4 quick tips on how to recall jokes. So quick tip number 1 on how to remember jokes, how to memorize jokes. I want you to remember category. And what I mean by that is you want to mentally file the joke. You remember information better when it's organized. So for example, they could be bar jokes, men jokes, women jokes, medical jokes, pearly white gate jokes, lawyer jokes, general jokes, right? You get the idea. Think about where you would file the joke that you want to remember. This works because, if I gave you a list of 30 random words, you probably remember 4, 5, 6, 7 of them, unless you went through our deep training. But if I told you before I gave you those 30 words that they are going to be country capitals, colors, fruits, shapes, then you're going to remember more because you could categorize it. So when you organize it and you chunk it, you remember it more. So quick tip number 1, categorize it. Now, quick tip number 2, that your second C, if you will, is cast. Cast. Fill the role. When you do understand how your memory works, you could work your memory. And you remember that which is both vivid and personal. What characters are part of the joke? Who do you know that you could cast in that role? If the joke has a bartender, a doctor, a lawyer, it helps for you to visualize and imagine a specific bartender, doctor, lawyer that you know, that you are familiar with. Because if you could cast the part with people you know, you can imagine them going through that joke's experience, and you are very unlikely to forget that. So in the example that I gave you, you could cast for a married couple that you know and a doctor that you know. It could be your personal doctor or a doctor you see on television. That is going to help you to remember because it's more familiar and it's more specific. Now, before I get to quick tip number 3, let me give you another joke submitted in our community. And this one also has to do with memory. Now you have 2 couples who are enjoying friendly conversation when one of the men asks the other, "Fred, how was the memory clinic you went to last month?" "Outstanding," Fred replied. "They taught us all the latest psychological, mnemonic techniques, visualization, association. It made a big difference for me." "That's great. What was the name of that training, that clinic?" Fred went blank. He thought, but he couldn't remember. Then a smile broke across his face, and then he asked, "What do you call that flower with a long stem and thorns?" "You mean a rose?" "Yes, that's it." He turned to his wife. "Rose, what was the name of that clinic, that training?" Okay, obviously that name of that training was not ours. It was not Kwik Recall. We take a lot of pride with our students and their ability to remember names. Quick tip number 3 is context. The third C is context. Set the stage. We teach in our online programs that you remember things better when you put it in specific locations, the loci method, because the context. Now, by the way, when you forget somebody's name, what is the first question you ask yourself? Where do I know them from? Because the context gives you the content, and we remember things in places. So think about where the joke takes place. Can you use a specific place that you are familiar with? If the joke takes place in a bar, in a classroom, in a doctor's office, it helps for you to visualize a bar, a classroom, a doctor's office that you are personally familiar with. So in the previous examples, you could set the stage. Maybe the couples were at a cafe, and you could imagine a cafe that you are familiar with. When you cast the role and you set the context, your joke now becomes more of a story. And most people remember stories they hear. And aren't jokes mostly stories with a punchline? Let's do one more joke. This one goes something like this. An elephant was drinking out of a river one day when he spotted a turtle fast asleep on a log. So he ambled over and kicked it clear across the river. "What did you do that for?" asked a passing giraffe. "Because," replied the elephant, "I recognized it as the same turtle that took a nip out of my trunk 40 years ago." "Wow, what a memory," said the giraffe. "Yes," said the elephant. "Turtle recall." Oh man, that was really bad. Okay. Tip number 4, your final tip here. Their fourth C is chain link. Chain link. chain link the key words. Chain linking, as we teach in our Quick Recall program, is a trick that some comedians will use to help them remember jokes that they've already learned, specifically help remind them of jokes. The idea here is that your true memory remembers the joke because you've studied it. You just need a reminder or a trigger to bring up the key parts if you forget them. It's very much like forgetting most things, your keys, a name, a speech. Many times you just need a clue, then it all comes back to you. A chain link is not the joke itself, but provides very useful key reminders to trigger the actual joke. The process basically is to take the main key words in the joke and chain link them together in a memorable way. In this last example, for instance, you could chain link an elephant, river, sleeping turtle, and giraffe. And in your mind, you connect the elephant and the river to the sleeping turtle to the giraffe, and it gives you scaffolding, if you will, to remember that joke. In our Quick Recall program, we go very deep in using this technique to memorize very technical information, from formulas to the periodic table for students, in a fraction of the time, in a way that's focused, that's easy, and that's fun. And so practice these 4 tips. Again, these 4 tips, going through it, and you could rehearse them in your mind and review them in your mind because that helps. Quick tip number 1 is categorize, mentally file the joke. Quick tip number 2 is cast, which is fill the role of the joke. Quick tip number 3 is context, which is set the stage. And quick tip number 4 is chain link. Chain link the key words, the key ideas. And use this and your jokes will absolutely be unforgettable. If you want more memory training, I invite you to join our intensive memory program. There we talk about how to memorize everything from facts to figures, speeches without notes, foreign languages, all the difficult information that you need to every single day to level up your learning and your life. You could go at Kwik Recall, kwikrecall.com. I'll put that link in the show notes. And I challenge you right now. So if you take a screenshot of this episode and in the description, share your favorite joke, keep it clean if you would, and tag me in it at Jim Kwik, KWIK, and tag our company at Kwik Learning, KWIK Learning, so they see it as well. If you feel bold, then I would really invite you to film a video and post it on Facebook or Instagram and share your favorite joke, your quick joke, if you will, and tag us in it, and we will repost a few of them. Charlie Chaplin says, the most wasted day of all is that in which we have not laughed. So I want to thank you for joining me for this episode that you're listening to. I wish your day be full of lots of life, lots of love, lots of learning, and of course, lots of laughter.